Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today, you guys can read it across my chest. Nobody's coming to save you, ladies and gentlemen. And what does that mean? Forex, offshore real estate, stocks galore run is coming. And you need to get your debt structure to the lowest it's ever been in 1 year and 3 months. That's what you have, ladies and gentlemen, because nobody's coming to save you. And welcome. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information, nor do you know who's not looking for information but need the information. So, once again, smash that like button. And if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel and click the all notification bell. That would be greatly appreciated. Down below in the description box, there will be even more things coming along. Let me see who's in the house tonight. Lavelle Israel starts us off this evening. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And the tagline, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is exactly right. That's what we're in here talking about. Wealth building again, because you will be left behind. You know what I'm going to start off with is because I told you guys the keys before. Number one, in 1 year, 3 months, make sure you have a 775 credit score. The reason I say this, just in case you don't understand how this is going to work, the rich people, if they can't make money by selling product, then they make money by selling paper when people sign loan agreements, credit card agreements, even more because they don't have to wait 20 years or 10 years to collect the money month after month. They can sell the piece of paper. I call it derivative. So does others. That is a derivative. I have a loan for $1 million. The person who has that piece of paper that you signed can go down to a financial corporation and say, who will give me whatever amount? And they might say, we'll give you 450,000 or 500,000 or $600,000. Now, let me ask you guys something. If somebody's going to pay $4,000 a month for their mortgage and it's a 30-year mortgage, they get $40,000 a year. Would you sit around and wait 10, 12 years to get 500 grand? Or would you be like the first person that gives you 500 grand tomorrow, that now you can use that liquid asset money to buy more assets? What would you do? I know you would do the same thing. You'd be like, hey, who's going to give me 500 or 600 grand? You can collect the 4 grand a month and take the risk that they're not going to default or worse. Fire, tornadoes, hurricane, flood. You take the risk. Give me the 500 now. That is where the problem starts. Now let's get down to the solution. Because if you have that great credit, 775 or higher, that's your 1 year, 3 month goal, then you will start having credit options beyond your wildest dreams, because only a few people will have that credit score. That's right. So just to keep an update, I just want to let you guys know something. Remember when I keep saying things like you're able to get credit cards? and you're able to do 12 months 0% interest, 18 months 0% interest, well, guess what's coming across the board now? 21 months and 24 months 0% interest for people who have great credit. By the time another year and something comes, I bet you that they're going to be into the 30-month category. If they're here now, what's going to happen later when more people are in debt and are not going to be qualified for the better credit cards, credit loans, mortgage loans? You have a huge advantage. If you can get a 2.5 or 3% interest only loan versus paying 5.5%. Big, huge difference. All right. That's what I'm talking about tonight. So, how do we get our credit structure straight? First things first, in the chat room, I'll have this link, and therefore, everybody will from now on, even on replay. And this one, because our family, Tracy Sharpe at, let me see what it is, moneyladder.com. I believe that's it. She switched from, what was it? Resolve Finance. So now she's working with another company that helps people even better. They have more tools to help you get your credit right in 1 year to 2 years without filing bankruptcy, without debt collections on your credit report. And so I'm putting this in the chat room. Hit her up so you can get everything in order, because at the end of this, you're going to be fine. Now, why do I say that? If you guys haven't been paying attention, we're about to get you to pay more attention. The reason why is that you know, or maybe you don't, you guys may know that the bond market stipulates what's going to happen with mortgage rates, not the Federal Reserve cutting rates. That's a whole nother ball game. The bond market going down has triggered the lowest mortgage rate opportunity since last year, 1 year ago, 6.09%. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you have good credit, you're now at 6%. The federal rate, when they cut theirs, corporations get to refinance their loans directly with the Federal Reserve or with other banks that the Federal Reserves are in cahoots with. That's not you, though. You don't get interest only loans for 15 to 20 years, right? No, sorry. So, like I said, nobody's coming to save your ass. So, therefore, you better figure out how you're going to save your own ass, because getting your credit in order is going to be necessary for you to survive, because you will need loans. But get this straight. If you're going to get loans, I don't want to hear anybody talking about a home as an asset, all right? I don't want to hear that. I want to hear you guys go, I bought a asset that pays me back. A home does not pay you back. An asset does. So why not use your great credit for asset buying, at least the first time, so you have passive income coming in to use that money to pay for wherever you want to live. And by the way, paying for wherever you want to live, hey, some people keep saying, well, I don't want to pay rent. I'm like, okay, you can have a mortgage and you can take care of all the maintenance. And most people don't buy a home that's brand new. And even if you do buy a home that's brand new, there's always issues. And whether you buy a home that's 10 years old, relatively new, 15 years old, relatively new, guess what? Your appliances, your AC and all that, they only have like a 10 to 15 year cycle. So you're going to have to replace that stuff anyhow, sometime in the first 5 years you own it. Something's going to break. It's not like things are, this ain't 1950, where you can have one of those ice boxes, those fridges that your grandmother had and she could pass to her parents because they would last like 30 years. Them days are over. Them days are over. All right. They make stuff long enough to last for a few years. So then you're going to buy it again, except for a higher price. So let's get it straight. Nobody's coming to be your savior. I don't care who they are. That's not how this is going to work economically, ladies and gentlemen. Saving your soul is not the same as saving money so you can pay your bills on this planet. All right? It's that simple. So don't fool yourself out here. All right, here we are. You see Tracy Sharpe at moneyladder.com. Go hit her up. How do you get your debt reduced without filing bankruptcy, without having debt collections on your credit score and all that BS? You get it handled this way, restructured. So then on the other side of this fence, which takes again a year to 2 years, you have in good standing paid all your debt off and your credit score does that halo. Woo, right? That's how we do it, ladies and gentlemen. DIM Pals, another investor's in the house. He's over there chomping at the bit every day that he's doing trading, I'm sure. Volatility is good. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And brings his tagline this evening. Good evening, Eric. Good evening to you. Traded some more options today and did a long-term investment options play, of course. Smash that like button. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's free, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button because the YouTube gods, the Facebook gods, the Twitter gods, the Instagram gods, the podcast gods. Hey, all the gods, I heart gods, got to show some love. So hit the star, hit the heart, hit the check mark. They're all different on different platforms, but show some love. Thank you so much for that, DIM Pals. And I want to hear about this long-term investment plays. And what do you mean by long-term? I mean, are you doing like a month out, 60, what, 2 months out? I mean, I would love to hear it. Post-retirement travel. Oh, I forgot, but I did not forget. Something just triggered me today. I need to hear about, you know what, Margaritaville in Orlando with their new bungalows. And please tell me they're $300,000 only in 2025. Oh my God, I'm still waiting. But again, another investor's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Mr. Worldwide 2 is here, and he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's what we do, ladies and gentlemen. We discuss information that makes it relevant to your financial pockets and your financial future. Have it in your brain. It will protect you in the long run. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. Top dog stocks are going to be top dog stocks. You should be thinking about getting them again. Oh, by the way, just so guys, I tell you sometimes what I do. So yes, I had to get some more. Even though I sold all my Nvidia at 177, I bought some more at 167. $10 per share. It adds up, ladies and gentlemen. So get back in. Say I took off a little profit, of course, but it was profit. So what's that? Buy back in at the lower price, and we still are in the game. Because I do believe they will be at 200, 250. You know why I say that? Because guess what happens? When you do communism, you want your government to own or have a part of corporations. So guess which company is going to the UK next week? Guess whose CEO is coming along for the ride? That's right, Nvidia's. He will be there in the UK meeting with the UK government along with our president of the United States. They have once again picked a winner. The United States have picked the winners. Nvidia is one of them. Just so you guys understand, they're not coming to save you, but they are. Because if you know this, then you know you should have some Nvidia. It's simple, not really that hard to figure out. And then when you have these other companies and financial analysts and everybody saying it's going to go anywhere from 200 to 250 over the next year, okay. I don't know about you, but if it goes to 200 and I get 15 to 20% in a year, I would be happy. If it goes to 225, it would even make me even more happier. Almost 50% in a year. The government's picking their winners. You better pay attention. By the way, Let's get down to the credit situation that I've been talking about for that 775. Because again, the average rate on the 30-year fixed mortgage notched the biggest one-day drop in more than a year on Friday to 6.09%. Now, some people would still say 6% is pretty awfully high. It is, but it's going to get lower. Don't worry. Bond market matters. Higher mortgage rates have helped keep many home buyers on the sidelines. Now rates are finally coming down, which also means the refinance rate must be in the fives, or should be 5.5 to 5.9, I would imagine. Uh, Adjustable rates also is going to range. There's going to be opportunities for people, and refis should kick in because some people actually have 7% to 7.5% and even higher mortgage uh, contracts right now. So imagine going from 7.5 to on a refi to 5.9 or 5.7. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be that way if it's the 30 years already at 6.09. So again, great credit, you're going to have more advantages than not great. 775 and up, 1 year, 3 months, or now. Take your pick. Now they're giving 21, in case you just joined us, 21 months interest free for all of you who have great credit. I told you guys it's going to keep creeping up. It's not just going to be 10, 12 months to 18 months anymore. It's not going to be 18 months no more. It's going to be 21, 24. That's right. It's already 21 for great credit, but better than great credit, 775 and up. It's going to hit 24, and I'm pretty sure it's going to hit 30 by the time 1 year and 3 months comes around to give you a huge advantage, right? Imagine having a credit card of 25, 30 grand, and somebody says, oh, no interest for 2.5 or 3 years on all your purchases. Plus, we're going to give you some of these perks. You better take it, and you better be ready, because that is a potential for that could be where you get your life-changing wealth if you can't get it the old-fashioned way by earning it with a job. So just letting you know, these are the keys that you're going to need. All right. Nobody's coming to save you. It's that simple. All right. Now, DIM Pals, let's see. He's giving out some of the juicy details. I did a long-term options play with Lyft until January 2026, but I'm going to be doing a long-term play every week. January 2026. So we're September. So October, November, December, January. Oh, okay. 4 months, 4.5 months. Okay. That's good. Let me know. Let me learn. I want to learn. How much did this cost you? That's what I want to know. Because we're talking about options, right? That's not really the Forex game, but still, we're talking about options. So, okay, speaking of that, okay, we are also gonna talk about a few other things. All right, let's see who else is gonna be in the house having discussions. Um, oh no, 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 no. Hold on. Post-retirement travel. He says, yes, I went to the office, but unfortunately, they still can't provide official info. Oh, this is even better. They expect to do that in the next 2 months. I gave them my name and info so they can notify me. We're on it. Oh my goodness, we're at the beginning. I thought it was already out. Oh, this is highly exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Pre-construction, Margaritaville, bungalows in Orlando. I don't believe this. The reason why I'm in shock by this is because I want to see what they are. Because again, I told you we can't win them all, ladies and gentlemen. I missed out on an opportunity of a lifetime. Now it's like, ooh, my time flew. 7, 8 years back, when I did hear of the $250,000, $300,000 Margaritaville cottages, and I was like, Margaritaville, that's way over there. Who cares? It's in Orlando. Now, little did I know that they were one of the top places that has a following where people are going to pay $400, $500, $600 per night in Orlando. And little did I know they were going to build their own ecosystem in this location. Little did I know that you could be getting 5-figure monthly checks. That's right. You heard me. From a $300,000 investment, including furniture. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Now there's another opportunity on the horizon for, it better not be 300,000, because that would be mandatory buy range in Orlando with the track record. And you could get in at that price, knowing that if it's the right square footage or the correct number of units, you know you're going to have a range in price. This is not hard to figure out. You know what the price is going to be because they already have some properties making just what I described and more on site. And they keep improving it, which is incredible. I didn't realize how much land these guys owned over there. It's crazy. So I'm happy to hear that we can actually be in at the bottom number. It's going to come in handy. Businesses in the house. Seamless Genius is here. Very happy to see you once again. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And Businessa brings her tagline. Hey, Boston SSN fam. Hello. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for being in the house. So, once again, now I can rest a little bit. Thank you, Post Retirement Travel. I'm glad that you let me know that it hasn't been out yet because I looked everywhere. I keep seeing everything in Texas. And I'm like, I don't care about Texas. Why would I care? Orlando has 80 million tourists coming every year, and a hell of a lot of them stay at Margaritaville. I bought Nvidia at 95, sold it, but haven't bought back yet. Oh my. Okay, well, as you know, it went up to 180 something. So your 95 buy was excellent. So anywhere between whatever you made in profits, it's worth it because 120 is 25 or 30% in a month or two or three. 150 again is incredible. 180 was incredible. Back down to 167. So again, I took some profits, bought back in, all good. So I cannot blame you for selling because profits matter, right? So there you go. All right. Thank you for letting us know, but that was one hell of a price at 95. The day you pulled that trigger, that was sweet. Mr. Law of Compensation, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Man, he brings his tagline, what's up, family? What's up to you, man? Hope all's going well up in NJ. I hope it's going great. At least I'm pretty sure you're still in NJ. All right. Okay. And this is a SSN family. That's it exactly. Cost was 325. Okay. So you did an option play that far out for lift and you had to pay the 325 was the premium or the fee. This right here, the reason I asked is so people understand Yieldmax ETF and option income trading, you have to pay these fees. So that is the variable that people oftentimes leave out when they say, yeah, I do option trading. And then they're like, don't mention how much they're paying for these options. There's fees involved. All right. Premiums, fees. And so that's about all I know. I don't really know that much about it, quite frankly. All right. I like to deal with anything that's automated, right? Because since I don't know the nuances, give me something that's automated. Well, friends have given me something that's automated. All right. So we'll find out. All right. Margaritaville, more building. Yes. In Orlando. Exactly. And purportedly 300 grand. That's right. In 2025, 2026, 300 grand. Now, it better not be anywhere near the same square footage as the cottages. It better not be anywhere near the cottages because if it's anywhere near, which would be hard to do, but if it's in a like kind of area within the project, that would be awesome. Maybe it's in a newer area. Who knows? But all I'm saying is if you can be near pools and attractions by walking, that gives you a big, big leg up. So we'll see how this all plays out. But I'm highly excited to see where it is And if it really is going to end up being 300 grand to get in at Margaritaville, because that is where the upper luxury lifestyle people go. They will pay the 500. They will pay the 600. So, yes, in Orlando. So stay tuned. Post retirement travel went down there apparently this past weekend, and they told them it's not out yet. I thought it was. But like I said, I'm very happy to hear it's not. Lavelle Israel doing popping corks. That's right. When we win, we got to win. And like I've been saying, nobody's coming to save you. You got to make moves on your own. You can't sit on the sidelines anymore. You can't just go to your job and go, hey, you know what? I'm good. Put it in my 401k. I'm going to go on about my business and sit there and go, well, I gotta work another 15 years to get my money. You might not be working at the same place in another 15 years, or 5 for that matter, or 2. You don't know what's going to happen in the next year, let alone 10 to 15 years from now. So, this is why you have to prepare everything for your infrastructure, offshore bank accounts, offshore businesses if you can. And I don't care where you're watching this from, whatever country you're watching this from, offshore means another country. So if you're in I don't really care, Spain, France, UK, Germany, Poland, I don't really care. Panama, you need to invest and have other accounts outside of your own country. Is a country really stable? Most of the time they are, but things change over time. You just never know what's going to happen. So prepare yourself. That's right. So we can always be popping bottles. Yes, sir. NJ. That's it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So next on our list is the Forex trading. I'm not going to be on here all night because this is a short list today because the stock market is going to react to news that's going to come up this week. Inflationary news, PCI news, PCE news, PPI news. It's all inflationary. Let's just put it this way. There's no way it can be under 3.3 if you start including other things. If you take out food and groceries, okay, fine. 2.9, 2.8, 3.0, great, whatever you want to do. But the fact of the matter is, it's way higher than any of that. And unfortunately, my shadowstats.com guys, kind of something happened, disappeared. I don't know. They don't want to give the number. The number is over 10%, ladies and gentlemen. That's just how it goes. Now, I got to give you some sad news about the Forex trading. I told you guys, every night can't win, but thanks to Biznessa, who told me we're at 3,035, was the profit for our trading sessions using the Gold Rush auto trading bot, right? Well, if I do the numbers, because I'm going to keep track a different way. I didn't write it down, but because it's in the back office on CoinEx, so I don't really have to worry. But 3,035. But last night, Monday night, remember they said do Friday night or Thursday night for the Friday session on the London Stock Exchange, right? Sunday night for the Monday session on the London Stock Exchange. That's what it goes by. 1 a.m. Eastern Time to 10 a.m. Eastern Time is when the LSE exchange is open. Now, we took an L. That's right. So the 3,000 on just, what was it, 5 or 6 trading days, 3,000. Now we have to take off 550 because it ends at 450. And yes, it was running all night. That's the thing. So it could have been higher. It could have been lower if we weren't doing that. But the point I'm trying to make is I told you it cannot run positive all the time. That would be impossible. It's electronic. So it's looking at things differently. So it took an L, 550. So now if I take away the 550, here we are. We're down to 2485 now. Still okay in 2 weeks. It's all right, but you know, 3,500 would have been better, right? 450 positive would have been better, or 550. So, okay, 7 trades. All right. The boss lady says, all right. So 2485, ladies and gentlemen, we're down because today we went negative 550. There you go. So just being fully transparent for the Gold Rush Auto Trading Bot. Now, if you're interested in this auto trading bot, it uses gold USD XAU slash USD. That is the gold, but it does the, oh, wow, I have two. London Stock Exchange. Now, first things first, if you want to get involved with this, again, there is a fee, but not a fee to go to CoinX and sign up. I always recommend because, hey, if you guys sign up with CoinX, there is a link, a referral link that they have, which is cool. I don't know what happens with it, but I don't know. But here it is. I'll put it out there anyhow. Go sign up. Um, so again, there's your situation for that. Go get CoinX. The only way you can load it, it's just a loading dock for you. You connect your software to it, the account that they give you, you connect your account in the software, the Gold Rush Auto Trading Bot software, right? Which is MT4, by the way. And so that's how you do it. CoinX is where you would upload your money, download your money, similar to like PayPal, except it's for, and you can only use crypto to load and download. Cryptos are the usual Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Tether, USDC. So that's 7. I think that's all of them. There may be one more than Bitcoin Cash. That's another one. All right. So there's 8, I guess. So you can load your money with using CoinX and take it out. No fees, incoming or outgoing. The only fees are outgoing, not from CoinX, but when it hits whoever you send it to. And right now it's going to Cash App. Cash App, it's taking, I don't know, it seems like it's like maybe not 10%. It's like it's under 5%, but it's still like 15, 10. It's weird because it's Bitcoin, and irrespective of if it's late night where it would be cheaper versus midday or early morning. So I didn't pay attention to the time. So all that has something to do with it. So anyhow, that's your first stop. If you're interested in getting this, then we have go to, I never can remember this, Gold Rush, what is it? Gold Rush Trading.info. No, Gold Rush Register.info. That's what it is. So you go here, and this is where somebody's going to get in contact with you. So you can go check it out. And now I have the HTTPS on it. So you don't have to copy it. You can just tap on it. And they have a referral. So yes, there is commission for referring people to that. Okay, so you put in my name, Eric Bird. It's that simple if you're interested. But 2 weeks, 2485. So we'll see what the next 2 weeks holds and see how the experiment holds up over a week or a month. And we'll see what happens. Maybe it's 3 grand, maybe it's 4 grand, maybe it's 5 grand, maybe it's not. You never know, ladies and gentlemen. But you got to be in it to win it. All right. Post retirement travel. Once again, go tap on his profile. He's about to go on his Mr. Worldwide 2 trip with Familia, and you can follow along on Instagram and YouTube. So go over there, show some love. That's okay. Not taking an L means you haven't been playing long enough. Impossible to win them all. Exactly right. We know how it goes, investors. That's the number one rule if you're new to investing. You cannot win them all. There is no way. If somebody goes, oh, I win all the time, everything I do, I win. It's not possible. Just so everybody understands, the numbers are quite clear. About 17 times a millionaire goes belly up. The businesses don't work. on average. So when somebody's saying, oh, yeah, this went well, that went well, this went well, and they just keep going on, that's not possible. They just didn't tell you about the L's because you learn from taking L's, is the point. Trying to see what to do to make things better. Like, hey, what if I don't go to sleep at night? Change my sleeping pattern to daytime since I'm doing this and actually stay up and watch the fluctuations. Because if it goes up $500-600, what would you do? Because again, my trigger point's around 200 and above. 300, 250, 350, 4. Hey, I'll just say close everything out and I'll take the profits. So maybe it was up during the night, but I wouldn't have known anything about it. So again, maybe now you start going, well, since I took an L, what's the best time? Is there a best time? Chat GPT? Apparently Chat GPT says yes. Said something like 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is different. I'm like, new information. Well, we'll have to start paying attention to optimize. Once you take L's, you start figuring out how to make an improvement. Well, now we can start figuring that out. Maybe there's a way to make an improvement. So just keep that in mind. Very, very cool. Exactly right. Post retirement travel. So once again, you guys see this on the screen already. Okay. That's on the screen already. So you see how that goes. Well, that's fine. Are you adding another 500? Or are you going to trade with your remaining 500? No, adding another 550, 500. It's 550 actually. So yeah, I'm gonna add it. Okay. Right. Always start with 1,000 is what they say. And so for the first sessions, I have no issue. It was all the profit. So luckily, that wasn't the first night of trading. So even if it was, I would have added the extra 550 because there's fluctuations. And so, yeah, I'm adding the extra 550 to make it 1,000 because that's what the PDF says. That's right. There is a PDF. And in fact, I'm going to give you guys the PDF for the Gold Rush Autobot Trader so you guys will understand again. And oh, by the way, like I said, if you go goldrushregister.info, the link is in the chat room. Not yet. It is now. Referral, Eric Bird, BYRD, ERIC, BYRD. And if you're listening on podcast or anything, it costs $2,500 for the lifetime deal. All right, lifetime bot. There is another one, 1,000 for 1 year. Take your pick. It's your choice. But just letting you know, that's what you'll see on that goldrushregister.info, referral Eric Bird. And then, of course, you can do the same thing once you are signed up and refer people as well. And so there is commission structure for that as well. A little bit, one time, not like multi-level. All right, here we go. Mr. Law of Compensation. He says it moves quickly. You ain't lying. That thing is just, it's running. There's at least like 900 trades during the night, 1,000 trades. I mean, it's out of control. You can see the history. It's like hundreds of trades. It's crazy what's happening. All right. Crazy. 16, 19. Yep, exactly. So what I'm doing is I'm about to use USDC to load. So that means, well, I don't even know. And it's on Coinbase. So we're going to find out on Wednesday night, 9 p.m. I won't be on. Or will I? 9 p.m. Eastern time. So yes, that's 6 p.m. on Wednesday night. So we'll be live. So while we're live, I'm going to see if I can transfer Coinbase. I'm going to send Coinbase over to CoinEx, and while I'm live, I'll see I can log in and see what's happening and see if it loads. What's the load time? Because again, we've been using Bitcoin and there's a delay. Over the weekend, by the way, I tried it on Saturday to send to Cash App, and it went pending. So it went pending over the weekend. They delivered it to early morning. So it took the weekends matter. So it's all good. So here we go. Lavelle Israel says, win some, lose some, but we live to trade another day. Exactly, Lavelle Israel. That's the way to do it because that's business, right? Every day in business may not be a winner. $2 to $3 for how quickly you want to download your funds. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. That's cool. I don't know about an option to download faster, but I'm going to use USDC, and at least I know the fees won't be 15, $20 or anything, right? $25 or $30. Because here's the thing, on these Cash Apps and Coinbase, even though I could send $1,000, right? Even though it might cost on the exchange $2 or $3, in order to convert it back into US dollars, they charge a fee. It's ridiculous. And that fee is a variable. It could be, well, 1,000. It's probably going to be like $4 or something. So overall, you download 1,000, I think on USDC, and you use Coinbase, I think you're going to lose three, seven, less than $10. So I guess, I'll live with the less than $10. We'll see how it all turns out. Still in the experimental mode. All right, here we go. Let's see. Post retirement travel, who's been doing it. The key is to stick to your strategy. And as long as you have more W's and L's, then you're fine. Exactly. 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 GPT is your friend. Great strategy, boss. Hey, I go looking for info. Like whenever you don't know if you like, you win all the time, then you're kind of like, oh, I don't have to do anything. Everything's fine. Then when you take an L, it's like, wait a minute, wait. I don't really want to take L's, but since we're doing this experiment, let's go find out if there's actually something that maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't need to be up all night. Or maybe I need to go look at what happens between 5. If I would have started at 5 a.m. to 8, would that be a viable scenario? Eastern time, 5 a.m. to 8. No, 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 no. Yeah, it said 5 a.m. said 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. So that makes it very interesting that chat GPT would say that. That's very interesting. So I'm like, but remember, one night, the first 15 minutes, it went to over 1350. Remember? So I was like, well, in 15 minutes, why do I care? Let's take 350. I was like, close all this up and go to bed. Because the goal was basically every time you trade 2 to 300. So since we were awake still, it was like, hey, just close this out. And it came out to 350. So I was like, beautiful, beautiful. And I thought that may be a thing. Then I'm finding out on the subsequent ones, it's not a thing. It just so happened that night because the next three stayed awake 15, 20 minutes and no such things. It hovered around 1,050, 950, 1,100, 850, all different. There is one day that happened, I can't remember which day it was, where it did go down just like this time, but it was sometime during, I can't remember, it was early morning or late night, but it did go down to somewhere between 600 and 550. But that same day, it ends up being $874 profit. So it's like, but it let it run all night, right? So that's why it was very interesting that it happened, but it didn't stay down. It came back up. So very, very interesting. I'm sure we have people watching that does this trading, and so they know these tendencies. Gold is about to hit its high. I know it did already. It hits all-time high today, and it's going to keep rising. The bond market went down. People are going to move to the gold. Inflation should be up higher. So people are protecting themselves by buying gold, silver, platinum, palladium, copper, right? Which makes sense. You should buy a little bit of gold and silver, platinum, palladium, or something. You got to have a few commodities, a little. Not, I don't recommend a lot because if push comes to shove and you're holding bags of these coins and you need to vacate and move, you're not, that's going to be the last thing you're going to be thinking about. I would think you might be thinking about it first. You might already have the bags and everything ready in case of emergency, but do you really know when the emergency happens? You could be driving something happens in your neighborhood. You just don't know, right? Most things you're going to be caring about is protection. I would hope that'd be your first thoughts. You'd be like, hey, I need some protection. Where's my weapons and ammo? That would be like number one, because after that, I'm not going to be carrying bags of pounds of silver and gold. That's heavy. That's heavy stuff. So, again, you're right about that. It hit its all time high today and it's going to keep going. Let's see. It dropped today and back up now. Exactly. Exactly. It did a fluctuation. Yeah, it went. In fact, it went up overnight. It rose and then woke up, and I saw this type of, this up, down, back up. That's very interesting. So during the night, that's what was happening in London time during the day. It's what's happening. So it's a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So those are the things that you can do to get in. Remember, this is an auto trading bot that you can get yourself involved in. I left you all the information, the PDF. Let's go with the PDF. I forgot about the PDF. Let me get the PDF on board, right? So you guys can see what their recommendations are. At least that's what they recommend. It's not too deep, but at least you have something to, check out beforehand. I'm just giving you guys some new info, but here you go. If you're interested in that Gold Rush Auto Trading Bot, again, 7 sessions, I come to find out, not 6, 7, and profits 24.50. So if my goal is 300, well, then I guess I can't even be crying, because that would mean I should be at 2100 and I'm at 24.50. So we're on target for the goal. All right. So I can't complain. That was my goal. Yeah, right. 300, 200 to 300 every trade. That's my goal. Every trading session. That's my goal. Every night is what I was hoping for. But now I see I might not have to leave it on every night. We'll see. We will see. I'm going to start doing more research, and actually I'll get to learn some more, right? Education, ongoing education is always needed in order to stay ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Just keep that in mind. All right. Now, lastly, which isn't going to be lastly, but this mortgage rates, I got to go back to that again, because they're talking about 30-year. All right. Fixed rate mortgage is still just around 6.29%. And they're talking about somewhere somebody was offering 6.09%. So this is very, very interesting. And now you're getting into an area where uh, people might, and in fact, you know what I love about this? I love that it's on CNBC. I should drop this into the chat so you guys can see it, because this is pretty cool. That's the link. Because number one on the list, oh, I cannot believe this. I've been telling you guys, number one, improve your credit score. Your credit worthiness will ultimately determine what rate you can qualify for. If you have a higher FICO score, you are going to get a better rate. Okay, we know this. A guy that works with TD Bank. FICO scores, the most popular scoring model range, 300 to 850. A good score is 670. Very good score is over 740. Anything above 800 is considered exceptional. Here we go. Here we go. I wonder, for example, borrowers with credit score between 780, remember the 775? That's where you guys, my number was. Remember, 780 and 850, anything between those numbers, 780 to 850, could lock in a 30-year fixed mortgage rate to 6.19%, but it jumps to 6.39% for credit scores between 700 and 739. On a $350,000 loan, paying the higher rate adds up to an extra $13,000, according to data from LendingTree. Well, just double that to a $750,000 house, and then you're going to be paying a lot more. Just saying. It's crazy. And you're going to be almost paying double what your loan value is. So keep all that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. So you can see once again, you're ahead of the curve because now they're telling people that 780 to 850, 775 is still, that's all that's the goal that you need to get to. Get there. After that, it's easy to get to another 5 points. That's nothing. All right. That's number one. The other number one, why is there two number ones? Boost your down payment. Okay, we don't want to do that. That's not the point. In a year and 3 months, it won't be the point. But don't worry. Right now, they're saying boost your put down 20%. That's is just not realistic according to Schultz. Exactly. In fact, the average down payment was 18% for all home buyers in 2024 and just 9% for first-time home buyers. That's right. Tell it like it is, Mr. Schultz. That's not reasonable for a lot of people. Think beyond a 30-year fixed. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. They're going to start talking about arms. Oh my God. I knew it. In fact, more buyers are considering adjustable rate mortgages. That's an ARM, adjustable rate mortgages, which offer lower initial rates than fixed rate loans. Now, again, the reason why these are popular is because a person can go down and get a low rate right now. Like currently, the rate for a 7/6 ARM is 5.59%. The reason that you do that is because you're believing that the mortgage rates are going to continually come down. So whether the adjustment, it better be every year, ladies and gentlemen. Do not sign an agreement where the adjustment could be every month. That would be crazy. So you're going to make sure you're going to ask the mortgage company that if you want to entertain an arm, you're going to say, hey man, I don't I don't want to pay any fees when I sell. That's off the table. That's the first thing that can't be on the table. Second thing, I don't want to hear any 6 month or monthly readjustments for my arm. I want 1 year. Now, if they do it or not, that's a whole nother story. But you don't want anything short term like month to month. All right. Because you could have a fluctuation in your mortgage payment, just so you understand. And if you believe, which, it's hard to believe, but if you believe that the interest rate is going to continue to come down, then an arm makes sense. And a lot of people will take an arm. Why will they do this? Let me explain what I used to do back in the day. If I get an arm, it would be a situation similar to this, right? Where they're going to cut the rates to spur, right? So you always knew when the GOP's in office, they're going to do tax cut, tax breaks. So we know there's going to be a bandwagon of home buying, which increases the value of the property. Meanwhile, you have a arm which has a lower interest rate by significant number, but you're going to sell it within a year, year and a half. So the house, well, remember, I live in California. I'm a California kid. So remember, homes, I'll give a perfect example. In 2004, a home goes from, one of my homes went from, oh, Jesus, what was it? 300 289, 289, 315 to next year, then went to 425K. All right. So now all of a sudden you're just like, okay, I can hit the injection button for less than a couple of years, a few years. That is the thing, because now the amount of interest you paid is low, and now somebody else is going to buy your place because there's a frenzy going on, right? So we're in the same scenario that could repeat itself once again. That's the reason why people may take arms. Another reason is because 5.59% is below 6.19. And they believe it's going to go down. So maybe the 5.59 is just temporary for a year. Maybe next year it's 5.19 or 4.9. That's what people, and knowing that you're going to have home prices increase potentially, you can always get out. So again, I wouldn't take this bet though at this juncture, but I'm just letting you know why somebody might take arms, because it's lower and they believe it's A 7-year ARM gives people the chance to take advantage of a lower rate today. See, this is what I'm talking about. That 7-year ARM is exactly the same type play thing. And you can always refinance in the future. That's, again, the thing, because refis are usually less. So if you get that in your ARM where it says I can refi anytime, then that's the best of both worlds. Because if the refi comes down to 5.1, 4.7, now it's worth it. Refi, no penalty. Let's go. All right. For that reason, ARMs have been growing in popularity, according to Yun. About 90% of consumers get a 30-year fixed, he said, but tapping an ARM is a good way to get into the market. Yeah, only if you have a reduction of your mortgage rate, because a lot of people got in ARMs in 2022, 2021, 2023. And so when the rates were going up, people's mortgages were going up significantly. And that's why a lot of people have lost their homes, because they got those ARMs going the wrong way. ARMs are only good when the rates are going down. It's that simple. All right. And by the way, did anybody notice those, just like any housing market boom, home prices increased so rapidly? Just like when it increased, what was it, 40% over 2020, 2021, something like that. And then 2021 during pandemic, it did it again, 30 to 40 to 50% price increase for homes. That's detrimental, quite frankly, if there's now a reversal, which has been the last 3 years, 2 years. There's been some sort of reversal, and people can't sell their homes because nobody's coming to save you. They can't sell their homes because the interest rates are high. They're not going to refi because their interest rate was potentially lower. Some people have 3.5% interest rates. There's no way they should be selling their house. That's crazy. I know it's tempting, but why? You're not going to be able to move somewhere else and get a 3.5. So again, everything has to start, you have to start thinking financially. There's none of this just go along, get along gang stuff anymore. All right. Your government is not looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for their best interest. You're not part of the good old boys club, then you're going to be screwed. That's why you have to become a part of the good old boys club, oligarch club, the money makers club, the people that has wealth. You're going to have to be in that club. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind with hardly any options. I've been telling you guys this ever since I started Stop Struggling Now. It was just a matter of time, but now it has escalated so much faster than what was supposed to happen. It's going to happen in my lifetime. Like I told you guys before, I thought I was going to be dead before I saw anything like this happening. I knew this would happen. It's just that when I thought the runway was 20, 30, 40 years from now. But with the dismantling of the controls that were in place, now all of a sudden things can actually speed up, where the wealthy versus poor gap is going to be a lot wider. A lot wider. Middle class wipeouts already happened. Upper middle class is next. That's happening as we speak. And the only way you can be an upper middle class is if you have assets. So if you're out here buying liabilities thinking it's cool, fine. But that's going to come back to haunt you when you have all liabilities that make you no money. And then you're going to figure out, okay, you sell that liability, but it's still what then? You don't have any other money coming in. And jobs are going to be reduced. That's going to be livable wages. So now what? It's going to be bad. We're going in that direction. Unless something dramatic changes, which I don't know what that's going to be, because we don't have people to pick our fruit, vegetables, do the, I guess, menial labor type of jobs at low wages, because who can afford low wages? Nobody. But now you have everybody trying to get the few jobs that do pay livable wages, and there's just not enough livable wage jobs. They're creating jobs that are low wage jobs, are being created for you by deporting everybody that pretty much looks like they do low wage jobs. See ya. So Americans, you're going to be going $8 an hour or $10 an hour and love it. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, you better not want to be in that side of the fence, because if you are, it's almost game over. You're going to have to move in with family and friends and do something. I don't know what to tell you. But again, you have opportunities right now before things get hemmed up. You better have property. You better have bank accounts. You better have a business. Any one of those three, but particularly two of the three, you should have offshore, preferably bank account and business or real estate. Take your pick. But the point is, you're going to need it, because sooner or later, there could be a banking holiday. The government is already begging for money. That's a problem. So just think about all that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to stay on this much longer, because nobody's coming to save you. And oh, yes, you can go get this gear at stopstrugglingnow.com. And we are now monetized once again. They've let me back in the club, the good old boys club. Not that it mattered all that much, because I'm not in the big old boys club, right? The good old boys club, I should say. But the fact of the matter is, stocks run galore is going to come up. Wait for it. But right now is a lull. September, as we went over last week, generally prices on the stock market go down on average 4% over the last 20 years. So this little volatility is nothing new during the month of September. So you need to be in. Yes, stocks have went down, stocks have went up. But again, blue chip stocks. You know what? I'm just going to, you guys, Google's your friend. Blue chip stocks. What do you guys think? Nvidia is a blue chip stock? Apple, Google? Come on. Those blue chips, Microsoft, Amazon. Come on. Let's go with blue chips. Okay, large market cap stocks. $10 billion or more. Um, let's go. What do you guys think? Tesla? I think Tesla's still going to be in the blue chip category. Their stock doesn't seem to come down, and these guys are talking crazy. We're going to give our CEO $1 trillion if they meet certain marks. Um, Here we go. I'm using Google. They include Coca-Cola. And by the way, yeah, Coca-Cola is a juggernaut. Microsoft. Yep, we know them. They're announcing, that's AI announcing that. Yes, Coca-Cola, because they give out dividends, by the way. They're small amounts, but they still give them out every freaking year, and keeps rising because, of course, the price of today's money is more than yesterday's money. It's that simple. All right. It's that simple. All right. Okay. It's giving everything we already know. Yes, Apple is a blue chip stock. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Tesla is a blue chip stock. Yes, 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 yes. Magnificent Seven, part of Magnificent Seven. Yes, 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 yes. Let me see who else. No, no. Netflix. No, it's not. Google says no, it's not. No, it didn't say no. It just said uh, it has blue chip stock appeal, but it's not blue chip. They better not be. Um, Nike, yes. Pfizer, yes. You getting it yet, ladies and gentlemen? Pfizer, by the way, 7.7% roughly a dividend, I think, right now. Nvidia, yes. So again, these are blue chips that we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. CVS Health Corporation, yes. Okay, just so you guys understand. It's that simple. That simple, ladies and gentlemen. All right, but just stay. Magnificent Seven is always good. Home properties in Florida are starting to come down. Good news for those of us still hunting for long-term rentals. Have your cash, duffel bags ready to go. Exactly, the duffel bag of cash, ladies and gentlemen. Got to have that. Duffel bag of cash is the heavy weight, you know. Got to have that. Be flexible. That's it. All right, EV Place, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And He brings his tagline this evening. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you. I hope everyone is doing well in your family. And since EV Place is here, let me show him some love because he does renewable energy for car stereo systems and home systems. That's right. Imagine your car stereo system not even needing its battery. You don't have to run an inverter, but you can run some battery power and parallel it to give you firstly an hour, maybe 2 hours without using your battery, and it automatically recharges on the fly when you're driving. Oh my. And you do that Sunday afternoon at the park, bumping your music like the old days, having a picnic with family and friends, and don't have to worry about your battery going down for a couple of hours. Well, you go see EV Place and go talk to him, ladies and gentlemen. That's the man. Go talk to him, and I'm putting the link down in the chat room so you can go show some love for all you car stereo aficionados. And he's using inductors to make sure everything is clean. You gotta love it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, be careful with Tesla now. At the end of September, electric car rebates will end. I agree with that. Thank you for mentioning that, EV Place. Thank you for being on it. Because again, Tesla's not one of my picks myself, even though they want to call it blue chips. I don't like what it's looking like. The world is not happy with Elon because he's been interfering with other countries' politics and not picking the Democratic side. I'll just put it that way, that he has afforded himself using capitalist systems to gain rebates, to gain favor from capitalist systems, but he now advocates for basically almost dictator type regimes to run countries, and that's who he's been putting his money behind. And I'm like, that's kind of weird if you don't like capitalism. But again, if you're going to be part of the oligarchs, which he is, then it gives him a other advantage personally because he's an oligarch. So of course he's going to be friends with a dictatorship because they're going to be friends. He has money. He can back them. He can give them money until they have a beef and they say, we're taking your corporations. That's the thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can see it now. Here it is. eBay right there. Go see what EV Place can do for you with home and automobile sound systems. And again, back in the day, I used to be a youngster and I used to love my sound system in my car being top notch and people going, what's in here? This sounds so crispy, so clear, so clean, and it's not rattling all about. What are you doing? Well, I got a few tricks. And EV Place has a few tricks also. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to be on here all night. I'm going to make this short and sweet. Everybody on podcast, make sure, and everybody listening across the world, I want to thank you so much. Make sure you smash the hearts, the check marks, the what else do we have? Hearts, check mark, stars. Make sure you check all of them to let whatever platform you're listening from say hello. I listen to these guys. It Stop Struggling Now. I support what they're trying to do. Help everybody. We're not trying to gatekeep. And since they're trying to gatekeep, guess what? The stock market, they can't gatekeep because you have Robinhood, you have Webull, you have Moomoo, you have E-Trade, you have Fidelity, you have TD Ameritrade, Schwab, you have JP Morgan. Everybody has brokerage accounts that you can have right now. So nobody can gatekeep you from buying stocks. Only you can gatekeep your dividend stocks. They can't stop you, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And once again, I'm very happy to have real estate investment trust now that the mortgage rates are coming down. Benefits them. The Federal Reserve, all they have to do, and don't let them do a 50% rate cut. That would be, oh my, we'll be off to the races quickly. They are liable to do anything just to make sure that the top 10 to 15% of the people can do whatever damage they can do to make more money and screw everybody else. That's the way I look at it. But that's why I started this channel, because I don't want them screwing everybody else. You guys need to know what you're in for. You got to buy assets that the oligarchs hold. that the top dogs hold. You need to have those same assets, those same companies if you can. And if you can't, then you need to start buying something that gives you passive income. Invest your money into passive income and get that to allow you to invest in situations. Biz buy sell, bizbuysell.com. Go look at businesses that are for sale right now. A lot of people are getting out. They're saying, hell, take over. Just send me a check every month. I'll allow you to come and I'll train you for a week or 2 or 3. Just send me a check for $5,000, $4,000, $3,000, and pay me monthly on the profits. And I want to go sit on the sidelines. Yeah, there's some businesses on Biz Buy Sell that are like seller financing. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Just think about that. There's opportunity everywhere. You just have to look. All right. So keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Thanks, Eric. Like always, you're welcome, man. I love to do this. We love to try and help everybody, especially Familia, the SSN Nation. So again, that's what we do here. Rising tides, ladies and gentlemen, because nobody left behind on our watch if we can help it. And of course, just because we're trying to do that, we can't capture 100% of everybody. But if only a few people listen, that means if they can help a few other people. Helping hands are great. All right. Now, I'm about to wrap this up. It's only an hour and 11, but I'm getting a little hungry, so I smell something good and I got to go eat. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I will keep you posted. On Wednesday night, we have a lot to talk about because I hit the eject buttons. Well, I didn't hit the eject buttons. I just told you 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago-ish. I told you, watch your Max ETFs. We have potential for something to happen. I'm not going to lose no more than 10, 15%, maybe 20 in some instances because I have enough cushion, but I put the stop losses already in, so it triggered sales because they went well below. So did I buy back in on some of those? No, I have not. Because I have a feeling I've been paying attention. We're going to find out what happens on Wednesday night. After hours, I'm going to be paying attention. That's maybe when I buy back in. Because it's been dropping off after they announced their dividends and after markets close on Wednesday. Because if you're holding it by 8 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, you will get part of the dividends on Friday. But the price of the share of stock drops off a cliff. It's been crazy. So once again, we have to take our advantages wherever we can find them. So if I get back in, I'm going to wait till after hours, after 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, after hours on Wednesday night. Simple. No sense in messing around and paying attention to the announcements of the inflation numbers and any other numbers that come out this week. So just keep all that in mind. And we'll have a lot to talk about on Wednesday night because, again, nobody's coming to save you financially. You're going to have to do it yourself. All right? There's no magic 8-ball. You can't shake the ball and go, hey, do I have $1 million in my safe? And it says yes. Not going to happen. You have to do it. And you're going to have to take the risk, unfortunately. Again, this is already played out in Europe where the plebes, they don't make enough money. So they put their money in the banks, but the banks don't give you enough interest. So that forced them to put their money into risk, meaning investments into markets, investments into startups, investments into real estate, investments into other vehicles that are not that stable. And then some of the retired people and not retired people started losing their money in these other investments because they couldn't keep it in the bank earning 1% interest or 2% interest or negative. Can you imagine leaving your money in a bank and they sit there and charge you going, you owe us 3% this month? You'd be like, have you lost your mind right now? That's forced them to sell. So that made things very, very interesting. All right. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to be in that position because we could easily be there in a 3-year or less time frame. I'll call it 2 to 3 years. That could happen. It could happen as soon as next year, quite frankly. But once again, these are the things you have to think about out here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go. What are we saying? Value 12% from January. I love to hear double digit. Oh, wait. What's this? Negative 12% from January. That's very interesting. Whoa, what's negative 12%? Post retirement travel. Which one went below? Remember the day after ex dividend date prices come down, but it comes back up again. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm talking about like Wednesday night last week. All the yield max ETFs just dropped off a cliff, and I was like, that's the first time I seen all of them like dropped off a cliff and heavily. But that had to do also with the market information and news, and the jobs report came out and all that. So they haven't really risen back up, I don't believe, but I haven't really checked because it hit all my stuff. So I'm just sitting there with cash, so I didn't have to worry about it. Which one went? Remember the day after ex dividend date prices come down, but it comes back up again. Remember, these are income ETFs. You can balance by getting the source blue chip version. Exactly. Good, great advice there, because that's where we're going with the blue chips. So putting your dividends to use also. All right. Okay. Dollar value. Oh, man. That means we're negative 12%. That's bad. That's bad. Dollar value. Negative 12%. So it's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So we'll see what happens. All right. Um, that means it costs that there's your inflation, your hidden inflation, 12%. Just to break even. Did anybody see? I saw somebody post up a package of steak, I believe, of some sort, and it said $347 at the grocery store. It was 2 packs like this. It was 2 packs, and it seemed to be maybe about 5 pounds, maybe even more. Maybe it's beef. It could have been like 10 pounds, but it was $347. And I was like, how is this at the grocery store like this? This is crazy. But this is where we're headed, ladies and gentlemen. See, this is the hidden inflation number, minus 12. It was minus 10. Now it's minus $12 value decrease. That's not very good. That's not very good at all. And so now when you add tariffs or if you add inflation, and so again, we're at 20% plus, and this is not sustainable for anybody. And unfortunately, people are finding this out. They didn't effed around and found out. So we all knew this was going to happen. This is not like rocket science. We knew the thing with tariffs, it does several things. And dollar value decrease is also one of them, because you are actually artificially creating a price increase for your businesses and your customer. So that's where you have a little issue, right? That's where you have an issue. But thank you for that information. The dollar value, yeah, it was at 10%, 10.7. And now it has increased another 1.3 if it's 12% even. Again, brace yourself. You're paying 12% more for no reason. None of this had to happen. Zero. Job losses, food prices increasing, none of it had to happen. Zero. No reason. No infrastructure being done for the United States citizens to make things better. None. That's not good. That is very, very bad. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, get yourself together. That's why this auto trading bot could be heaven sent for a lot of people. But again, it is risk. Whenever there's money involved, there's risk. It's that simple. So if you want to join, you can make comments after the live stream and the replay. I'm always checking comments. We are now monetized again. So that's pretty cool. And again, the Forex information will be down below. The how to actually improve your credit score with smart credit monitoring systems that helps you out. That'll be down below in the description box. How to get a couple of installment loans. That'll be down below in the description box. It's just not there right now. It's going to be down there shortly. All right. In about 5 minutes after this all closes. and we'll make it happen. But I didn't do anything previously to the live stream because I just got back from the hospital and my aunt. So uh, there has to be a decision made for her care that my uncle has to make. So we had to see the doctors, make sure everything's all good, and we'll see what happens. Thank you, boss. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Very, very nice of you to say, business. I appreciate you as well, for all these years of support. And yes, oh, by the way, yeah, we got back our memberships. Yeah, but they're a little different now. Haven't really tweaked it too much. They're a smaller amount, I guess. Just put it back up. We also have the store should be showing where you can get gear and mugs and yoga pants and all this. Um, yeah. And now there probably was always ads on the channel with or without me being monetized, but now there's going to be ads that's going to come up. So that's going to be fine. So we're back in, I guess, YouTube's back in love with Stop Struggling Now. Shocker. I thought I was going to be banned for life for harmful rhetoric, as they said. I was like, hold on now. It wasn't that harmful. Um, so it's going to be very, very interesting how this all shakes out. But I will say this, and I gotta say, I have to. I can't even resist. I'm not a pedophile protector. All right. I'm a capitalist also. I'm not a communist. All right. And just so everybody understands, people use that communist word. Communism is when a government runs part of or runs corporations. So again, American administration that's saying they're going to take money from our USA companies, that is communism. All right. Just like when our president is taking NVIDIA CEO to the UK for the UK meeting. I'm like, what are you doing? Just like when Musk was running around going to Qatar, getting deals through our government. Again, that's communism. That is not free market system. All right? There's a difference. That's not capitalism. All right? So get it straight, ladies and gentlemen. That's the first thing. When you start seeing communism, you better start thinking alternatives. And the alternatives reside elsewhere. They're not inside the United States, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. And I love you guys very much. But just please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen, but you're going to have to find a way to make more money, squeeze it out. Cost of living is still going to keep rising. There is nothing in place to stop the cost of living from going up. There's nothing. Zero. Tariffs do not stop inflation. Dollar value going down does not stop inflation. Reducing and doing tax cut, tax breaks, and reducing the Federal Reserve rate, that increases prices. So whether you call it inflation or not, prices are going to go up. You can borrow more money, so borrowing is going to increase. All-time record high for that's going to keep going up. And it's just going to keep being to a point where eventually nobody can pay for all the debt. And that's where it's in game. 1935, 33, all over again. Thank you so much for that. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Highly appreciated for that. I appreciate the prayers. She needs them. Tomorrow she goes for a swallowing test because when she eats, the food's going down the pipe that goes to her lungs, and that causes aspiration, which basically turns into pneumonia. So we're hoping that there has been some improvement, and that would be sorely needed because otherwise the other options start getting dire. Because if you can't eat food and nourish your body, then that means you start dwindling away. So again, just be safe out here, ladies and gentlemen, because you never know what somebody's going through. There's different ways a person could be under stress. There could be depressions. It could actually be stress from a job, stress from family, stress from driving. You just never know what's going to tick somebody off and what their mindset is. And it could be no money, um, no job, seemingly no way out. All of that could come back and haunt anyone. So just be very, very careful out there. We have some situations going on all over our country where decisions that public safety is, is crazy. Disregard for public safety as far as health. So again, these type of things make people stressful if you have your medical coverage and you find out you don't have it anymore or anything like that. And again, a person with stress, especially if they need their operation or they need their nursing home or hospital or medical facility is disappearing and you have to go an hour and a half away, all of a sudden this starts being stressful. And family members have to be stressed as well. So again, um, these type of things come up. And the best thing that you can do is, and I will say, like my aunt, for instance, she has medical coverage for the whole nine. She had long term care that she was paying for. So if anything happened to her, like the situation now, she has that. She has, of course, the Medicaid, the Medicare, which is part standard, but then she has other health coverages that she has in place. So that has helped her be able to have options that other people would not because they would not be covered. So again, this is something that's going to come because people are being cut off from Medicaid. And that's one powerful thing that you need. And that could be for kids too, because, kids uh, who have both one or both of their parents have passed away, they have disability insurance, social security disability. And people go, that's social security. Those are people on disability. They should work. No, it's kids, literally 5-year old, 3-year old, 10 years old, 12 years old. The caretaker for them, whether it could be their aunt, their uncle, or whatever, they have to take care of this child without the parent, one or two. So there's checks that come, and yes, they're under Social Security, but it's not Social Security for retirement. That's a different one. And so that's where people don't understand when somebody says we're going to cut things. And then all of a sudden it's like, and Medicaid, right? That's for like kids and disabled people. They don't have insurance, but they're disabled, they're sick, they're dying. And all of a sudden they're like, I'm sorry, you don't have this no more. Now what? Oh, that's going to cost $12,000. It's stuff like that that people don't realize until it happens to them. And they're just like, holy smokes, I didn't see this coming. Well, you kind of did. All right. So just keep that in mind. You never know what somebody's going through. That's all I'm trying to say. All right. So, and the best thing, like I said, like my aunt and uncle, they have the best insurances coverages due to also military situation, due to defense, working in defense contractors and stuff like this. They have a lot of stuff that the normal citizen wouldn't have. She wouldn't able to. People can't even have this coverage because they'll be like, "Oh, you got to go. You don't have coverage no more after 5 days or whatever." Right. Um, so lucky for us, she has the foresight to put things in place so that way if there is something wrong, there was no sped up timeline. There's no thing like, oh, I'm sorry, your coverage is going to be out in 3 days, so you're going to have to make a decision, or things like that. So that's healthcare, right? That's what healthcare should be. You look for all avenues that can help somebody, and that sometimes that takes time because you can't schedule, oh, yeah, well, we're just going to go down here to the x-ray room or CT scan room or the MRI room. No, you have to schedule these things. It's not going to be today. It might be 3 days from now. It might be 4 days from now. So all those days add up when somebody's sitting in a hospital facility, right? Or an environment like that. And so If you don't have the coverage, they're going to be like, you got to pay out of pocket or you got to go. It's that simple. All right, we need this bed because remember, it's a business. All right, I'm going to end with that. All right, so I'll see you guys on Wednesday night at 8:50 p.m. on the Wealthy Wednesday Night live stream. So stay tuned to this same channel, same bat time, same bat channel, same SSN Nation way. We tell you the truth here, ladies and gentlemen, so you can make the decision one way or another. But you need to know the actual numbers, actual truth before you can make a solid decision on an investment. It's very simple. You can't fudge the numbers. It's that simple. All right. You can't bail yourself out. All right. Okay. Here's a different corpo running government through lobbyists. There you go. That too. That is the situation as well. We have a messed up system. And once you understand the messed up system, some people, like he said, lobbyists, they are the lobbyists with the money to pay the lobbyists, and they're working for their best interest, not our best interest, because we're not paying the lobbyists, which in turn pays government officials. So that's where we're at here right now. All right, Eric, we want to do a will. Do you have a recommendation for a person for that? No, I do not, because I do not believe you should have a will. First of all, a will, if you have children, can be contested. You need a um, trust. That's what you need. I would go the trust route. See your financial planner. All right, get a trust is what I would recommend. And no, I don't have anybody to recommend yet. I have there's a trust being done in the family, and I'm waiting to see how they actually do theirs because I have to do one now too for another piece of property. So that has triggered some other things that I need to do. But a trust, I would recommend. Don't do a will. Here's I'll give you a perfect example. Here's what happened with us. Because they teach people. There's a reason they tell people to have wills. You know who has trust? The wealthy. They don't have wills. All right, just to give you an idea. So they tell poor people get a will. It's easy. It costs you what? A notary and pieces of paper, and it's all good. Then you find out that every person that's in the family can actually come forward if there's any type of issue and say, I deserve a piece of this. Now you're spending money on lawyers, and lawyers aren't cheap. It's 5 grand. Just so you know, just to say I want to do probate, they start off the box. It's 5 grand. If you start saying something like, well, there's 4 of us, 5 of us, and we're siblings, or there's a whatever the situation is, and you start naming numbers, the price goes up because then they know the fight's going to be longer. Now it's not 5 grand. It's going to be another 10 grand. Now you're going to be doing this because you guys are arguing. And now each of you have attorneys. Or maybe 2 of you have the same attorney or something. I mean, it gets ridiculous. Trust, straight line. And it's not in the purview of the court system. Wills are in the purview of the court system. You have to file with the court. And a lot of people should go to probate court. I recommend you go to court for everything. You should go to court and watch child support. You should go to court and watch trials. You should be in court and see what you see on TV is not even close. And just because you see celebrity stuff, that's not even usually how courts go. You will be sitting there shaking your head going, I can't believe this. You will hear some crazy stuff. And I'll give you one. I'm sitting in child support because they tried to overcharge me for mine and telling me I owe X amount, like tens of thousands more. And I'm like, what, have you lost your mind right now? I keep track of everything. That's not a thing. But meanwhile, I'm waiting up in court. I'm sitting there and I hear this one case that I just had shivers down my spine. The guy's in jail in another state. The mom is in California saying that he should pay child support. He can't even get to court. Judge says in contempt. Judge then hits his gavel down and says something like $2,500 a month. State of California. Now he's in jail for another 2 to 3 years. State of California is paying the mother $2,500 a month, is allegedly from the. When he gets out, he owes whatever $2,500 a month times 30 months or something, and some back stuff. Dude's like 50, 60 G's. That's what he's gonna owe when he gets out of jail. And I'm like, dude can't even get a decent job according to the way our system works. So now he's going to have child support on his record, a criminal background, and now his wages are going to be garnished if he does get a job in the state of California. I'm just like, this is crazy right now. I'm like, I understand, but this is like unrealistic. So this guy's screwed pretty much for a lot of things. It's on your credit reports. It's all kind of stuff. You need to trust Victor. Exactly. That's what I say, business. I'm looking into that as well. Trust are more valid than wills. Yeah, they're not in the probate system, which I find very interesting. I have a friend who has a trust. Their mom did not do things properly. What she did was she has a mortgage on the house, has a trust. The trust says house goes to my beneficiaries. The house isn't free and clear. Okay, two beneficiaries, right? Bypass probate, allegedly. Here we go. The mortgage is not in the trust. So the trust doesn't own the mortgage, so it's separate. One party wants to pay. One mom's dream was to keep the house in the family, so somebody would always be able to come and stay and relax, and they would be in the family. One of the beneficiaries says, I don't want that. You know what happened? The one that says, I don't want that, I want to take my profits of a few 100,000. He goes to court. Now, it's not probate, but it's to court to remove the other beneficiary. You know what I said immediately. I was like, he's wasting his money. That ain't going to happen. The court case came. Court said, what are we doing here? What are you guys doing in my courtroom? No, I'm not going to rule to remove somebody. That's not even in our purview. Uh, get Dude wasted his money on this, right? But here's the thing. The house payment still has to be paid. The insurance still has to be paid. The electrical, the water, sewer, and garbage still has to be paid. The person that says, I want to sell the house is not helping pay anything. But if the house does sell, guess what happens? Beneficiaries have to split the house. Now, the house is probably going to sell anyway. But the fact of the matter is, because it's in a trust, you're only limited to certain things that you can do. Trying to get the beneficiary off of it is not going to work. But there is one thing that could happen because the house is in neither of their names and it's not in the trust. So now you can actually go to court and force a sale. That's always an option. Do you want to waste the money? That's the other question. 10, 20,000. It's in California, so it's probably going to cost 15 to 20,000 to do that. Or maybe 10. But who knows? 10 to 20,000 what it's going to cost. Especially if you have a battle. So they're not going to just take 10 grand or 5 grand. They're going to probably go, oh yeah, but your other beneficiary doesn't, so you're probably going to be in court. So we want 25 grand. I mean, so there you go. All right, let's see. I'm about to get out of here. But yeah, everybody should be doing the trust scenario. If you have assets, you need to do trust. You don't want any deviation from separation if that's your idea. If you want to keep things a certain way, then you need to create a trust. It's that simple. Robinhood is giving you an option for point, beneficiary, or trust. Nice. I didn't know that. You're talking about Robinhood? How come I didn't get nothing from Robinhood? Well, I'm going to have to go look into that, aren't we? Thank you so much. But again, I'd probably, I don't know if I'd use Robinhood, but we'll see. Um, let's go. No, it's not. Is 18 years old the max for child support in California? No, it's not. Funny how some good parents get shafted at court while the bad ones get over it. I know. I hope he didn't get hit with alimony. No, no, I don't know about that. But she was in there talking about child support, and I'm like, wait, dude's in jail. What are we talking about? He doesn't have a job, and the judge is still. He's going to pay X amount of dollars. I'm like, he can't. He's in jail. I was like, what are we saying? So he's going to rack up a 30G bill a year? I was like, holy smokes. He gets out of jail and owes like 70 grand plus interest. And they add 20% or 30% for interest. It's crazy. No, it's not over at 18. Uh, well, okay. It depends. If you're talking about just not married, then okay, 18. If you're talking about you were married, that means now it could go to 20, I think 22 or 23 for college. That's right. Exactly. That's why a lot of men aren't getting married. I'm just saying, it's not because they don't want to worry about the child support thing. Because I always have never been a proponent of if you have children and you're a guy, there's nothing worse to me than the guy going, I love my child, and then sits around and when child support goes, oh, I want to get paid under the table so I don't have to pay child support. And I'm like, I thought you said you love your child. And what are you doing? You should be giving the mother the money to help pay for your child. Oh, well, she's going to spend the money. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. But the fact is, you're sitting here saying you love your children or your child. And now you're sitting there going, well, I want to get paid under the table, so I have to pay child support. I'm like, I'm not down with that. I've had to tell my friends, I'm not down with this, man. What are you saying right now? Then don't talk to me about, oh, man, I miss my child and my child's everything and all this BS. I'm like, what are you saying to me right now? You need to do your thing. You help bring the child into the world. You need to help pay the mother and make sure she has money. Whether what she spends it on, that's no your control. But the time you have visitation is your control. So what's the problem? I don't want to hear that bull. Sorry, I'm not a proponent of that kind of talk. You have a child, you should take care of the child one way or another. If you don't have a job and things are bad, I understand that, but that doesn't mean it's bad forever. Once you get it, then you have to handle then. When you get the money, then handle it then. But don't be telling me you trying to, I love my kid and all that stuff and not trying to do nothing. Not even trying to see the kids or something. I mean, come on now. All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I won't want to be on this long, but I am. But I want to thank everybody for listening. If you have anything else you want to say, put it down in the comments section. I have added some things in the chat room. So if you want to refresh, you will see a lot of new things. All right. So, with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure no matter what you do, pay attention. Thanks. Yes, let me look into that Robinhood option business. I know those lawyers take you to the cleaners. What a mafia. No, no, no. On the trust, it's not that expensive because you tell them what you want to do. They form it. So someone of your caliber, you're not going to mind spending 5 grand or 3,500 or six, because that sets everything straight. If there's family individuals, that sets everything straight. Because people don't understand that the state that you're from regulates if there's a trust, if there's a will. If there's no trust and there's no will, then you have to go by the state. Whatever the state says, the state always wants to split things up to make it very difficult for families because somebody's going to argue, especially when there's assets left over. People start arguing, and then people get lawyers and this, that, and the other. They come to court. The court gets to pick and choose who they want to give benefits to, so to speak. So you don't want to be in that, put your family in that position. That's crazy. So the will that my mother had put our family in that situation because just because my siblings, three of us grew up in the same household, when there were assets there, all of a sudden one of our siblings goes, it's mine. And we're like, what are you talking about? There's three of us. What do you mean mine? So that's when things go sideways because there's a will. There was no trust, like, begging your parents to get a trust, get a trust. So that way we don't have a problem. No, we had a problem. And then because the will we had a no agreement, just like the beneficiaries, co-executors. So my mom comes up with co-executors. So now co-executors don't agree. Court. Luckily, in our state of Georgia, they have a what do they call it? Oh God, I can't remember the title. But anyhow, a mediator that handles it in court where both sides don't act like co-executors. The state does, and they have to do what's in the will. Well, one of the siblings says mine steals some of the stuff before our mother is buried. So now when we are in court, we bring it up to the court that, hey, we have video. This is what was taken out of the house by this person. You know what the court says? You guys work it out. We're like, what do you mean? It's supposed to be split three ways. So her taking anything means either it has to be returned or somebody has to offset that value to us. The court says, you work it out. I'm like, oh my God. So when somebody says, I don't want a will, all you can say is, oh my God, because it's going to cause problems for the family down the line if there's more than one person. Just so you guys understand this. And talking to my friends, every friend of mine that their parents had a will and they had siblings, all had problems. It's 100%. I ran into a person that I don't know at a party. He's the only person I ever heard that said I was the I was the executor. And I went exactly what my parents' will said. All my siblings, I think he had three or four, he said they all agreed. I said, well, you're the first person, and they're not anybody I knew. It was just we were at a party or something, and he was talking that something about, yeah, trust came up. And that's what they had was not a will. So he had a trust. Didn't have a will, he had a trust. And so that's when we start talking about it. And he goes, yeah, I just went exactly like the trust said, and I did it. So again, but anybody can sue anybody. Even when you have a trust, somebody can come along and try to say, no, I don't agree and waste their money. But it's not under the purview of the law anyhow. It will cost you if their family contest your will. That's why a trust is better financially. Exactly. Exactly. Because that's literally what happened in our case. The because of the will, the other party evaded being served papers, so they would have to do something that the will already says and delay something that should have only been less than a year ends up being almost 2 years. Made no sense. It was just ridiculous and a waste of money and time and energy. But now we have bad feelings. See? Now there's bad feelings. That's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, you can do that. Yep, exactly. All right. Rapture ready September 2025. Hey, fellas, sorry I should have stopped earlier. Eric, love you, brother. This must be George's Charles. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Rapture ready September 2025. I know who it. Oh, yeah, he came clean. Here he goes. He says it's me, George's Big G. I knew who it was, man, because there's only one person that I know of that was telling about this September 2025 rapture. Now, a lot of people don't understand. You guys know how I feel about Bible language. And the rapture, you know what that means. In case, well, wait, we might have people that don't know what that means in Christian lore. The rapture means Jesus is coming. So when somebody says the rapture is September 2025, I'm like, hold up. Wait a minute. I don't know. I don't think so. It's not going to happen. But G says he believes it's going to happen, but I don't think so because I think he's messing with me. I think he's messing with me because I said I'm going to call him on September 2025 or September 25th. He said he's going to be on a cruise. I was like, I thought the rapture was coming. That means somebody's going somewhere if the rapture comes, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to be on a cruise. Not going to be on a cruise on the 25th if the rapture is supposed to be the 23rd or the 24th. So that's all I'm saying. You guys know how I feel about this. Books written by man that controls people after Jesus has passed away. So all we have is stories written by man. So I'd be very careful. And remember, several books have been altered, or not. Several people have written the books as their interpretation, is what I'm trying to say. So you should follow the history of the many different Bibles around the world and when it even started, which, once again, I won't get into Bible study tonight, but we're going to find out. All right. We're going to find out. Look, like I said, let me look at my calendar right now. So just so everybody understands, the 23rd is Tuesday, 24th is a Wednesday, 25th is a Thursday. Okay, so since it's going to be the 24th and it's the Pacific time zone, I guess we'll be on here live talking. So, um, no, I'm pretty, okay, let's put it another way. I am sure I will be here on September 24th and September 25th and October 1st because Biznessa has already beat me to it. No one will know the day or hour. Exactly. Exactly. That is the point. And by the way, that open ended verse is just that. This can run for thousands of years because no one will know the day or hour. So since you don't know the day or hour, it could be 2075, 3050. Because right now we're 2025 and counting. And by the way, does anybody know when Jesus was alive, the average age of people? I'll just leave it at that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to go. Um, and we're going to have a little fun with it down this line because I've heard, you know what? He's not the only person that has said this. There's other people that have said similar things like September is time's up. So I will say this just so everybody understands that I'm where I'm coming from. On any of the days that they say there's going to be a rapture, I just want you to stay away from your friends that are with you. Do not drink anything. All right? Don't drink anything. Don't eat anything. Don't even be around them because you're supposed to all be going to heaven anyhow together. I'll see you there. Okay? I don't need to be hanging out with you, drinking and eating and thinking I'm having fun. And then because you think something's going to happen today, it's my life is over. No, no, no. We don't have to do it that way. No, 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 no. We don't have to do that. All right? So stay away from anybody that's saying it's over and give me all your stuff or leave it all behind. You don't need money. I'm like, what are we saying here? You got to know, the scriptures are contradictory at best, is what I will say. Um, along again, you guys don't understand. I've always been this kid that studies things. God bless everyone. Exactly. I got to have a little fun because it's entertaining to me, because once you study the religious sects around the world over time, you see there's a theme, right? Be good to thy neighbor, love everybody, don't do people dirty. There's that standard theme. But yet, in every religion, the guys at the top don't do what the religion text say. They all want to control. They all want to do things. They all say, hey, no, the Vatican has uh, artwork, paintings, Bibles, stuff that they have kept hidden from the public in their vaults, namely a picture of Jesus. You know why that would be controversial? You can imagine why the Vatican would not be like showing it, because that would hurt a few billion people of a certain color. They'd be like, wait, what do you mean he's not white? What's happening? What is this? What the heck are you talking about right now? See, that's where the problem comes in. And then Catholic system is a whole nother breed of animal in itself. So now you have to hide things in books of Bibles or, well, Qurans. And I'm going to leave it at this. Whatever God you believe in and higher power you believe in, you should believe in something. There is a higher power. So this isn't just arbitrary. There is something for sure. Life on this planet, as you know it, being able to ecosystem and renewal, there is something to it. So you can't dismiss that. So whatever, but at the same time, there's people using it to gain favor, for trying to manipulate people, versus right now, we have the top 10 commandments if you're Christian. America voted for a person that has cut up, chopped up, doesn't even read the Bible, every one of those, and would have fit in real well at Sodom and Gomorrah. And yet, people are saying he's the second coming of Christ. So that right there should tell you there's a problem, Houston. All right. Um, I believe in relationship. Man has corrupted religion, just like on Jesus' day, he hated religion. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Um, those statues back in the day that the priest or rabbis or whoever were pumping red dye to make it seem like they would get everybody coming. Oh, did you see the statue bleeding blood and all this crap? Again, I have certain things, because if you study and know history and understand what's happening, and then when you start going, well, when did this happen? How did this occur? And then you're finding out other things, like when you run across stuff that you learn, because America's young. Remember, the world is thousands of years old. So there's text, there's writings from before Jesus came, right? So it's very interesting if you start really going back and looking and seeing, hey, what's all this other stuff that happened before that they were talking about, the sun, the moon, thousands of years ago, not just two, like 4,000 years ago, sun, moon, stars, and then it goes down to other things, right? So just keep that in mind, because remember, even in the Egyptian times, Ra and all these guys, the sun, but your religion is to the sun. You disobey, same things, same type of situation as what she's saying. Okay, what Forex system are you using? I'm using, I don't know if it's really a system I'm using. I'm doing Autobot trading, gold and USD, even though there's other pairs, but I'm not doing currency trading or anything like that. And it's an Autobot system, and it's Gold Rush Auto Trader. All right. That's the system I'm using, and I've been testing now for 7 sessions. The profit so far on 7 sessions, running at 1 a.m. at night Eastern through 10 a.m. 6 sessions, we just let it run. One session, I eject button early because it was $300 ahead, and my goal is $200 to $300. So I said in the first 10 to 15 minutes, I was like, cut it, take the profits, and go to sleep. So that's testing. But again, I will repeat some things. If anybody's interested in checking things out, here I have where you can go get further information to sign up at goldrushregister.info. And they do have a referral system. So my name is Eric Bird. I'll put that in first. And since you asked, Gemini Twin, welcome to the SSN Nation. All right. Um, so I greatly appreciate you being here, asking the question. That's the first place. And you put in, like I said, it's a referral system. You put in my name, Eric Bird, BYRD. Um, and since I use that link, maybe not. Okay. The next one, I'll do CoinX. But if you're already into trading, you probably already have your location that you use. But I'll still put in the CoinX referral just in case there's somebody watching. And so that right there is also referral for anybody that signs up with CoinX and you want to be in this, then, or anything else, you would have a person sign up. They use Bitcoin, crypto, Bitcoin, Tether, USDC, Dogecoin, Doggy Coin, the, and BCH, Ether, and Tether, USDC. I think I covered everything. Bitcoin. There's about 7 or 8 different coins that you can upload your money to, download your money to. So on CoinX. So I put that in the chat room. And if you want the PDF, how come I don't have the PDF handy? The PDF where they tell you when is the best time to trade. Huh. Oh, here we go. The PDF for everybody on the outside. There you go. Okay. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps. Here goes. I like it. I like it. I would probably stay up on those 2 nights. Yeah. As it turns out, it can go either way. So, again, if you're up there, that's kind of cool to stay up because you never know. Like, for instance, unless I check out history, I never know. It could have went up to 12, 13, 1500 during the night sometimes over the 8 hours, 9 hours. It could have came back down. And I just wake up and hit it then. I'm doing some other testing with the demo mode. And by the way, since I'm at the demo mode, they give you $5,000, right? I've ran three times, and right now, out of on the demo mode, which is not the real mode, but profit is only $353 out of three runs. I just come in and hit it at 10 p.m. at night because I'm in the Pacific time zone right now. And then when I wake up, it's over, right? It's like 7 a.m. in the morning and the markets are closed for the London market or kind of closed. It's closed, but then they have a few after hours for an hour or something. But nonetheless, yeah, 3 sessions, it's only $353. And I ran it last night. And it's so I get to you get to understand how the software can work. You mess around in demo mode. But the live mode is Wednesday night. I'll have the money released on Coinbase. They're holding the money till Wednesday night at midnight. They're going to release it. So then I'm going to send it over to CoinX. So I'll be all ready for Friday or Thursday night. So I'll have a report. We'll have 2 bots running and we'll know Friday night how the 2 bots did combined. So we'll know something then. So we'll keep it going. That'll be the 8th session. All right. So we'll have an idea, because it would be nice to have two profits. I don't care if it's 2 or 300 or 500 or if it's better. That would be awesome. If you can just do 600 a week, that's good. 700 a week, that's better. Couple thousand, even better. But it doesn't seem like there's a pattern of doing 1,000 all the time. That was one time it went over 1,000. One time it was 800 and something. And all the rest have ranged, and the profits have ranged from what, 265 to 350 for the rest. So that's pretty much it. All right. Hopefully, everything goes well for everybody out there. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday night, unless there's something else we need to discuss. It looks like we are done. So once again, on the way out, smash the like button and be safe out here. And as I always tell you, be rough, be tough, be gentle, be kind. Treat every human being like they're your loved one. Things would be a lot better. But above all, make sure you keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.